I'm General Glenn Walters, United States Marine Corps retired, and I serve as the president of the Citadel. I'd like to take a moment and discuss your choice of colleges. Most of you have many options. The Citadel is not for everybody, and very different opportunity for most of the schools you're likely to be considering. It isn't easy, but the rewards are great, from the superior education and leadership training to the lifelong relationships you'll build. The Citadel is a unique experience. We rank as one of the top colleges in the nation, and it's proven our graduates are more successful than just about any other school's alumni. So if you're ready to commit yourself to a great journey with immense rewards for those who complete it, I look forward to your joining our ranks. Good luck and see you soon. Our mighty Citadel. These words have a special meaning because they make us think about what's special about our college. And they make us think about the task at hand and what we can do to preserve what is special about this college, while also taking the steps necessary to make sure that this college and what it stands for will stand forever. We are a mighty Citadel with a sacred mission to educate and develop principled leaders for all walks of life. The values-based education we offer here is more important now than it ever has been. To stand forever, we must preserve the traditions that make the Citadel such a special place. The traditions of service, challenge, resilience, and camaraderie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Citadel's Georgia Cadet webinar. My name is Seamus Gillen. I'm a member of the Citadel's class of 1996, and I serve as Associate Director of Admissions. I would also like to introduce my counterpart, Josh Simon, class of 2008, who will be assisting on the technical side of tonight's event. Georgia has a very unique and storied connection to the Citadel. Since our founding in 1842, the mission of the Citadel has been to forge and deliver principled leaders into the world. Whether as commissioned officers in our 4 service branches or as leaders in business or education, Georgia cadets have and continue to play a vital role in this calling. Tonight, we will have 3 guests joining us who will share their individual experiences regarding the tremendous impact that the Citadel's leadership and academic development models have had upon their own personal and professional growth. Topics of discussion will include a brass tacks review of institutional results and outcomes. This is the return on investment stuff. I think that's a critical piece in the search of all colleges out there. We're going to explore the transformative nature of the Citadel's first year. We call it the knob year. And this follows with 3 years of leadership development that follow. The Citadel cadet experience as a whole is going to be delved into, and we're also going to talk about this amazing city that we call Charleston, South Carolina. We're going to shed light upon the physical activity here at the Citadel to include Division I athletics, club sports, social clubs, as well as other organizational opportunities that are available to our cadets. We're going to talk about the Citadel's core ethos of servant leadership. This is a really critical function and idea here. This concept plays out in the Corps of Cadets each and every day, and it also is a present element in our community service as an institution. And lastly, we're going to share how the Citadel's passionate alumni network supports current cadets, graduates, and the college itself. Georgia alone has 8 different Citadel alumni clubs. Tonight's program will conclude with a question and answer segment that our guest panelists will participate in. That will conclude firmly at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All of our viewers are welcome and encouraged to write your questions in the comments section to the right. There's a tab, if you see on the side, titled Comments. Please tab that and make sure you enter your questions as we move. Lastly, as promised at the end of tonight's event, we're going to be putting up a QR code for all of our viewers to scan. It will take you to a simple form that will ensure the accurate delivery of your Citadel pennant. These are felt pennants that we have custom designed for these events, and we will be mailing them to your door. We are also going to be texting all of our participants tonight a direct link for that form to ensure that you get it in the event you're using your phone to watch this broadcast and you can't capture that QR code. Now, without further ado, let's meet our guests. The first panelist of the evening is Cadet Private Lyle Rucci, a Romeo Company fourth classman, Citadel class of 2024. He hails from Savannah, Georgia. Rucci is a civil engineering major, currently pursuing an Army Minuteman scholarship. He participates in the Frisbee Club and is preparing to join the American Society of Civil Engineers. He also plans to serve in the National Guard upon graduation, while concurrently working professionally as a civil engineering professional in the civilian world. Cadet Rucci, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Our second panelist is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Ansley Pansari, Citadel class of 2021. Cadet Pansari hails from Augusta, Georgia, and she serves as our 2nd Battalion Commander. She's a member of the Pre-Health Society as well as Phi Kappa Phi. She also plans to attend medical school upon graduation, though she's preparing for MCATs and everything else. We're glad to have you with us, Cadet Pansari.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
And our third guest of the evening is Mallory Moore, Citadel class of 2015. Who holds both an undergraduate and a master's degree in business administration from the Citadel. Mallory was an NCAA Division I full scholarship athlete. She served as captain of the 2014-2015 volleyball team. She was also selected as a Southern Conference All-Academic team member, and she served as 4th Battalion's activities officer during her senior year. Post-graduation, Mallory served in hotel management in her hometown of Athens, Georgia, before returning to work for the Citadel as our Southeast Regional Recruiter. Mallory also volunteers as the Georgia Citadel Alumni Recruitment Chair. Welcome, Mallory.
Thanks for having me.
I want to thank all of our panelists tonight. We appreciate the time you're investing with us to share your experiences and thoughts. We're going to have some fun tonight watching a variety of Citadel Cadet profile videos, after which we're going to talk about them. And our panelists are going to share their own personal experiences that I'm certain will convey the great challenges and rewards that the Citadel environment presents. I'd like to start by sharing some fundamentals about us as a whole, institutional realities. And I think that our audience out there are carefully reviewing these numbers because every dollar matters in this day and age. We are going to convey these in a pretty direct manner, and we'll start with U.S. News and World Reports because they're a highly recognized source for rankings. They've ranked us the #1 public university in the South for the last 10 years. That's a decade. Straight, folks. This is impressive. This marker is bound by outcomes. It's bound by graduation rates. It's bound by employment rates. It's bound by where incomes are 10, 15 years down the line. It's bound by the alumni investment in the college. So that's a profound marker that shows for 10 years straight we're earning that designation. Here's another one. Within 3 months of graduation, better than 90% of our graduates are professionally employed. That's 25% above the national average. That's impressive. That's a hard marker to follow. And again, it's a testament to the consistency of the product coming off the line. Mallory was a Division I athlete here. We'll talk about this down the line a little deeper, but our Division I athletes graduate at the same rate as non-athletes. You are not going to find that as a common element in Division I sports, university-wise. Across the nation. It's just very, very, very uncommon. But again, that's a testament to the environment here and the total commitment that our cadets have on the academic front. You are a cadet and an academic cadet first and foremost. Our student athletes have to balance quite a bit on their plate, but again, to achieve that outcome is something that's very, very special to us. 81% of our folks receive financial aid, and that includes nearly $14 million in ROTC scholarships. Many of you might be considering ROTC scholarships. We'll have some webinars for you shortly, but that's a keen way to come to the Citadel from a tuition standpoint. The average salary at graduation is just under $57,000. That is really, really, really strong. So that's an important thing to keep mindful of is where do you hit the ground running? And I hate to start with money, but it's an important factor for out-of-state students. Knowing that you can pay back student loans, knowing that you're starting your career at an impressive starting position, that matters. So that's the average. A big attraction point, and it was certainly one for myself, and I think we'll discover this with our guest panelists tonight as well, is that the Citadel harbors intense classroom environments. We've been committed to this for a long-standing period of time. 12-to-1 has been the student-faculty ratio that we have maintained for decade after decade after decade. And that works for us. It ensures that our students are seeing no more than the largest of classes and the largest of majors. We'll see something in the 30s. And then I was an English major. I happened to be an English major here at the Citadel. In our classroom, I had classes that we were around a round table, literally looking around, eyeball to eyeball with each other with our faculty. And speaking of our faculty, better than 95% of them hold their terminal degrees. So that's a really, really impressive number too. It's a testament to showcasing the fact that the folks that we hired to teach our cadets have achieved the highest designation in their fields. I think it also, when you reverse engineer this idea, is that the people that are attracted to the Citadel are attracted to these small, intense classroom environments. It's a really, really important factor. But there's a fundamental process that gets us to that job placement position. And I think it's really, really important for you to understand how that process works. And there's no better place to start than with the Career Services Director. That's Paige Tisdale. She'll outline the process our cadets follow to become extremely competitive in the job market.
There's never a day where I'm not excited about educating students on opportunities. I'm Paige Tisdale. I'm director of the Citadel Career Center. So I think because I really enjoy what I do, I hope to empower students to be able to find that, because a lot of people don't find it right out. It's not something that you just often fall into, right? Sometimes your path is a little windy. And I'm lucky that I have found it, and so I want to empower students to do the same thing, to find something they're passionate about. You know, I think young people have a lot of options. Obviously, coming to the Citadel is a very tough choice, and life at the Citadel is not easy. And so if you're choosing to come here, I think you're already buying in from day one that, I'm going to work really, really hard for the end goal. Not just the ring and not just to graduate, but partnering with us, that professional end goal. And so it's a very personal thing to me. Sometimes I get a little bit of pushback of, hey, you can't reach everybody. And I guess my response to that is, why not? To me, that's the reason that a career center exists. And so I grew up understanding and really loving the Citadel and knowing what it was all about, and really our mission to educate principled leaders. I believe in that, and I believe what we're doing here. And what I would say is that the employers, they buy into. So I'm really, really passionate about getting students connected early, planting the seed, looping back around sophomore year, junior year, so they're exploring, preparing, and engaging all along. So I'm passionate about it because if students start early, it really helps them get connected to career outcomes the day they walk across the stage.
It's important to note for all of our viewers to note that it's really a day one evolution. For the 4 years you're here, you're involved in career services. You're involved in preparing yourself, building your resume, and we have 2 resume plans. We have your professional resume and a leadership resume. So it is a 4-year evolution to prepare you for graduation and employment, particularly. So moving beyond these keen statistics and the incredible rate of return on the investment, what is the special sauce that differentiates our graduates from graduates of other institutions? General Walters at the top of this program talked a little bit about this in his welcome video. I think these elements are difficult to measure. Leadership is sometimes difficult to measure. It's not an empirical idea. But it's something that's really unique to the Citadel because our leadership development program is extraordinary. And frankly, it all begins with your first year.
I expected the Citadel to be difficult, structured. I expected to have a routine. The only thing that was different for me that I didn't expect was the intensity. I'm Aaron Daniger, and I'm a 4th class cadet. All year, everybody talked about recognition day, the gauntlet. I was excited. It's finally here.
Give this everything you got. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Don't leave anything left out on that field. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Go until you can't go anymore. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Let's go.
And when we went out outside. We ran to the first station with the ropes and the burpees, and that was it. I was just into it. Everything else didn't matter. I knew it was going to be hard, and I was correct. I was in pain. I was hurting. I was sweating pretty bad. I was at that point where I was almost relieved. I wasn't there yet, but I knew it was coming. I kind of felt that feeling like I'm almost there. I'm almost there. You know, a couple more stations. We do the victory lap. I go in. I do my push-ups, and I'm right there. I'm so close. When we get in the barracks and we get down to do our push-ups, and I've got my classmates on my left and my right, all I could remember was just trying to keep count, trying to just keep pushing. And then we start bracing, and I heard the bagpipes, and I'm not gonna lie, I was tearing up a little bit. You know, I'd made it. That was it. And fourth class system's no longer in effect, and the chin came right out. The next day, we marched down to Marion Square, and we renewed our oath. And it was an unbelievable experience.
As long as I remain a member of the Corps of Cadets.
The biggest lesson I've learned this year would definitely be keeping unity even through the hard times. We all ran through trials and tribulations. That was the point of the process, was to test you and to, train you and make you stronger.
Good stuff there. Cadet Rucci, we're going to hit you first. You're a knob. You're approaching that halfway point here, my friend. Congratulations on that. I hope you're working hard academically. When you watch this video, what are the gut responses? What are you feeling when you see that?
Well, it definitely got me a little nostalgic. I mean, matriculation day wasn't that long ago, but it still feels so long ago. But I agree with everything. It's tough, but you come together with everyone around you, and I'm loving it. It's hard, but I mean, I love every second.
One of the things I want to share about this class, and just as a graduate, as the old guy in the room, your class has had to deal with some unique factors. Knob year is an extraordinarily difficult first year. There's no getting around it. But one of the things that's special about this year, obviously, is COVID. COVID has impacted everything that we do, how we do business, how the cadets engage. From a freshman standpoint, you've had to deal with hardships that no previous class has ever dealt with, and that's the isolated nature of us being safe. We've had to safely get us to this point. And the cadet buy-in is really, really pivotal to the success we've had to this end, where many other institutions have failed. So I want to congratulate you and your classmates. I know that it's been a difficult semester, and a lot of that's psychological because of the isolated nature of particularly the first 2 weeks, Hell Week, as we call it, Challenge Week. I'm an old guy. We're always going to call it Hell Week. It's one of those things that is challenging, but leaning on your classmates provides a lot of energy. And you guys didn't have that nearly as much as previous classes. So kudos to you for being successful this far and getting to this position. And obviously, you got to finish strong with finals and everything else, but you will be at recognition day before you know it. I'm going to switch to Cadet Pansari, our senior cadet who serves as our battalion commander. If you would, give us a quick synopsis of what that role entails and talk about what you've had to introduce from a COVID-related policy standpoint to safely lead 2nd Battalion to this position.
Yes, sir. So this year, 2nd Battalion's actually been a training battalion. So I've had all of cadre and 4th class cadets in my battalion, and then several upper class cadets as well. So a lot of it has been training the 4th class cadets this year and incorporating some of the new COVID regulations that have been put in place by the administration. So things like wearing your mask all the time and making sure that everybody's social distanced, and making sure that training can still happen even with the CDC guidelines.
It's pretty amazing how creative that, institutionally speaking, we've had to maneuver and pivot and do all kinds of things to make the academic environment work. The commandants had to pivot to facilitate ideas, but it's the cadet environment, the barracks, where you're the leader. And how many cadets are in your barracks, Cadet Pansari?
Right now, I think the number is 523.
Okay, you're responsible for 523 people on a daily basis. And under that watch, we have COVID, which is a dangerous pandemic that we're dealing with. And you're tasked with ensuring safety, in addition to all the daily things that fall on your lap. And I would say that one thing's real is accountability is a key part of that. So I want to offer my own congratulations as a staff member to you and your leadership team there in 2nd Battalion for being successful in getting the NOB class this far. It's nothing easy about what you've accomplished. It's been one of adaptation, and adjustment to ensure the rigor of the training, the firmness of the 4th class system, and the safety that's required to ensure that we're all in person and successfully navigating each and every semester here through this pandemic. So congratulations to you, Cadet Pansari. I'm going to now segue over to Mallory and get your thoughts on that video. Does that bring you back a little bit to what once was?
Most definitely. It's been, 9 years now since my recognition day. It brings back all the memories. So I was getting goosebumps throughout that video, just remembering being on the parade deck during the gauntlet with my classmates. A fun fact was that rec day, my freshman year, my NOB year, was on my birthday. So it was a birthday for sure.
That's the best gift I can possibly imagine.
Absolutely, yeah.
What a memorable.
My cadre did not know it was my birthday. So
that's another thing you keep secret around here in many environments. So you can go out with your friends, but we don't celebrate birthdays in the barracks. That's an old tradition. So we're going to move on to our next video, which is going to resonate with you, Mallory, definitely. Our next video follows the story of Cadet Kate Manzione, excuse me. She was a cadet athlete like you, Mallory, and it expresses the connection that physicality on this campus has with mental fitness and with the core ethos of camaraderie and teamwork. I think there's no better example of that than in our cadet student athletes. Got it.
I first started playing soccer when I was 4. I was like, this is the sport for me. I love the competition and the aggression that I can just take out on the field. I'm Kate Manzione, and I play center back for the Citadel soccer team. So our team is known for having heart and being gritty and getting after it and being physical. And that's something that our opponents really take into account, and they are never stepping up to the field thinking that this is going to be an easy game. It's always physical. It's always a battle, and that's what I love about my team. Being the last line of defense is really important because it's just you and the goalie at the end of the day. She relies on me, I rely on her, and that's a bond that is really special on the field. I can come into this locker room and know that there are 30 girls in this locker room that would do anything for me, and I would do anything for them. Being a leader on the field and being a leader in the Corps is really similar because you're not only a team on the field, literally, but you're also a team in the Corps. I mean, your company, your squad, your platoon, you're all a team. The whole Corps is a team. And the leadership that I saw in the Corps really helped me to be a leader on the field. I've seen myself change in so many ways. The person that I was 3 years ago wouldn't recognize the person that I was today, and I'm extremely proud of that. I really grew as a person as well as a player. What keeps me motivated as a leader is knowing that I'm training my replacement, and I want that replacement to be better than I was before. I have potential to be something greater than I am, and that's what I'm really reaching for.
This video reminds me of my company commander freshman year, and I won't dwell on it, but his name was John Harrison, and he happened to be the starting pitcher of the Citadel's World Series baseball team back then. And he also governed 130 cadets in the company. And he was a top-performing academic cadet as well. The balance of that, I played club lacrosse while I was here, and I remained dear friends with my lacrosse buddies here at Citadel. But the balancing act of trying to do all these things, and it's an achievable goal. To be a student athlete, to be a cadet leader, and to academically perform at a high level. This is the pinnacle of achievement. Mallory, you were a team captain, and when you see this video, I'm sure it takes you back. So talk to us about what it means to be a team captain, to be a cadet leader. You were a senior. You were on a battalion staff. How do you accomplish that? How do you successfully pull that off?
Yeah, so coming in my knob year, I, to be honest, knew nothing about military lifestyle. I committed to the Citadel after I went on a visit there to visit the volleyball team. I fell in love with the campus, fell in love with the environment, obviously fell in love with Charleston. From that point, did I see myself getting into leadership roles throughout my next 4 years? No, I did not. But I think that she said it perfectly in the video, is that, you're training your replacement. And as soon as I walked in, to preseason my knob year for athletics and, getting mentored by my teammates, learning how to be a successful cadet in the Corps as well as a successful on the field or on the court, was probably the best thing for me. Time and time again, I was always busy with classes and traveling for volleyball, but at the end of the day, like, I wanted to be there in the Corps of Cadet as well. So balancing, time management, it was very difficult, but it definitely paid off.
And I don't want to reveal too much, and you might get angry at me, but you were nearly a 3.9 academic performer during your cadet years. That's highly impressive. I can honestly tell you, because we wear this ring, we have to be honest. I was not a 3.9 performer here at the Citadel, but the reality is that's a really, really important testament to your hard work and dedication. And being a team captain, being selected for captain, demonstrates that you have a leader's ethos. So congratulations again on that. And it's cool to kind of revisit these videos, because I'm sure, like you, there's a nostalgia here that's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
How about our other cadets? Are you guys involved in any athletic clubs? Or what are your favorite intramural sports? There's always afternoon intramurals to burn off steam from academic work. I'll start with you, Pansari.
Okay. A lot of my friends love intramural baseball, so I've gotten to go out and do that with them a good bit. And then I've got a bunch of good friends that are on the soccer team and then are on the volleyball team and on the track and cross country team. So I've loved getting to watch them and cheer them on at their home events that have happened. So, yeah.
Awesome. Cadet Rucci.
Well, I'm part of Frisbee Club. That's a really fun time. I was part of it. I was actually co-captain back in high school. So I was really excited to start doing that again. And yeah, the intramurals have all been really fun. We haven't been doing that good. I think we've lost most of the games, but it's a fun time to go out.
So is this ultimate Frisbee? Is that the kind of, okay.
Yes, sir.
So what's your best trick move? Let me start there. What's your best trick move with a Frisbee?
I can kind of throw it like, how you hike a football? I can do that pretty good.
All right, that's pretty cool. All right. We're going to get you on video down the line and use that down here in line. That's good stuff. So athletics are a keen part of it, but again, physical fitness is conducted. The Corps is held to physical fitness standards here. It's part of the commissioning process for our folks who are interested in the military. The standard is available as a mind sharpening tool. I remember, and I don't know if this is still available, but there used to be a time during our evening study period, which is our study period that's set in place Sunday through Friday or Thursday, excuse me. There was a time after 10 o'clock that you could run for 30 minutes. I don't know if they still do that, but I love doing that at night. It was a great time to get out of the barracks after you've been grinding on academics and just burn some sweat. Our cadets are taking 18-hour minimal course loads and oftentimes more than that. And a great way to relieve that stress is to get into the gym and pump iron or go out for a run or do some calisthenics and do those things. And usually you're doing it with a classmate or two. So in addition to the company runs and such. And Ms. Pansari has been leading battalion PT. I'm sure she's had that opportunity to do that a few times. In fact, I believe you are a high PT performer. If I heard a rumor once in Days Hall about your PT scores. Did you ever score perfect? Did you ever score 300 or above?
I did, yes, sir.
That's outstanding.
It was junior years before we had the plank and the PT test. So.
Okay, well, I can say that I never scored a 300 either. So that's outstanding. Well done. It's always best to lead by design and by example. So kudos to you. Rucci, what's your favorite PT element and what's your least favorite? Let's hear it.
I don't know. PT is something different. I'll say that. It's rough getting up at 4:55 and going out there, but I mean, I feel better. I'm in the best shape I've been. I'll admit I came here not in the best. I was not prepared. and it became well known.
So does it behoove our viewers tonight to consider preparing months in advance to start to getting your mind and body in position for this challenge here?
Very much.
Good.
Very much.
All right, guys, we're going to move on to our next video tonight, which shares the story of Cadet Chad Deckold, who talks about service. One of the things I think is really, really important to kind of be mindful of it, and we had our team captain Mallory talking about what it means to serve the team. I think serving others, our battalion commander's doing that, and certainly Nob Ruchi is in the throes of that because Nobs serve each other. That's their primary function. But Chad has a great story to talk about with respect to cadets taking a moment to deal with a real challenge, and that happened to be a hurricane that came through Charleston. Let's roll the video.
I'm Chad Deckold, and I volunteered at a Red Cross shelter during Hurricane Florence. The cadet leadership of the Citadel, we were closely watching the progress of Hurricane Florence.
The preparations are intense right now at the port of Charleston. And
we saw that as a Category 4 or 5 hurricane. It was potentially on a direct collision course with Charleston. It certainly made us realize that this was a truly serious issue. Well, my first thought was, as a battalion commander, was how can I get my cadets to safety first? The next thought was, how can we help out the greater Charleston community with this incoming hurricane? And I knew that I just couldn't sit by while our community was threatened. So myself and 5 other cadets helped out at a Red Cross shelter. And when we got there, we first noticed that the shelter was overwhelmed with about 200 more people than they expected. We had to help take over management of the entire shelter, counting how much food, how much water they had, making sure that everyone was properly supplied, and helping the managers deal with the large overflow of people. As the shifts wore on, especially as it got into the later hours, we certainly felt that fatigue and that exhaustion. But to look at the people at the shelter, realize kind of the magnitude of the problems that they were facing as their homes were threatened, it was truly humbling. Sometimes you have this expectation as a leader that it's always you that's teaching your followers, the people that are under you. It's you that's the primary influencer. But what this experience taught me, watching how the Nobs sacrificed their time and how willing they were to serve, was that your followers can absolutely inspire you as a leader. The Citadel kind of instills in you this kind of ethos that there's always something greater than you. It's your duty to look out for those around you. That duty is not just limited to cadets at the Citadel. Recently, I received my ring after many years of waiting, and one of the things that first struck me was how heavy it weighed. Not just physically on my hand, but there's just kind of this weight of obligation that you have. And the fact that, as I graduate and move forward into my career as an Army officer, that ring will still be there. And there'll be that expectation that I have to uphold, those same values that those cadets, those mentors had instilled in me during my 4 years here.
When I watch this video, I think of the Citadel's commandant, and that's retired Navy SEAL Captain Peluso. His notion of servant leadership and the ethos that's been permeating the Corps of Cadets during his run here. And it continues. It's a long-standing tradition, but serving the people around you is really the highest order of cadet life. It is the demonstration of what you've learned and absorbed here. It begins day one with our Nobs. You have to. No one's a lone wolf. You've got to work together with a team each and every day. But this is going to manifest in different ways, academically, athletically, militarily, and training. There's all these environments that allow you to serve the people around you to make the team better. And that's a really, really important notion. Cadet Pansari, you desire to become a medical doctor. This is something, especially in the COVID era, the first responders idea right now. It's a definable element of that environment. Talk to us about what your thoughts are in serving as a medical doctor.
Yes, sir. I think my time at the Citadel showed me that I really love working for and with people, and that's something that obviously is going to be pivotal in the medical field. And so I think my time at the Citadel has really shown me that I want to be a medical doctor and I want to be able to serve people in that way.
One of the interesting things about Miss Pansari is that her father is a classmate of mine, and we were both English majors here at the Citadel. And he'll always be Matt to me, but he's Dr. Pansari. He served as an Army physician. Is he still active?
He just retired about a year ago.
Okay, I need to touch base. I know we're waiting on our reunions and such during this mixed time, but Matt was a great leader and served the team well. So there's certainly a tradition in your house of service. So congratulations on that. You've been a regional recruiting officer, Mallory, for a while now. You've been a team captain. You've served as a hospitality manager. All of those things are service oriented. So talk to us a little bit about what you and how do you live to this idea of serving others?
Yeah, I just think servant leadership, obviously it was instilled in me at my time at the Citadel, starting from NOB year all the way to senior year. And I live still by the core values. I like to lead by example. That was something that I learned at the Citadel. Just leading by example is the best way.
Well, we've been lucky. Mallory is an exceptional worker. She's smart and articulate, and she also has volunteered her time with this. She volunteers. That's a quick determination. She's volunteered with this organization that I run from the admissions office called the Citadel Alumni Recruitment Team. Josh and I work together on this, and you'll meet Josh in our Q&A. This is an organization that has alumni all over the United States, even abroad, that give their time away from their families and professional responsibilities to recruit and meet students who might be interested in Citadel. And Mallory's done this for the great state of Georgia, so that's another example of this. Cadet Rucci, you're in the NOB environment. Certainly servant leadership's a big part of your life right now. Talk to us about your daily life cycle and how you're serving your cadets so our viewers understand some of that.
Well, NOB year is mostly about learning to follow to be a good leader, but I've tried my best, be a Nobendant. That's what some have called it. And I try to be one of the better people. I actually volunteered to move rooms to help out one of the more struggling people. So I'm taking pride in that. And I try to help out as much as I can.
It's the little things in life, Mr. And that's so just to hear that as a testament to your growth and leading by example, that's good stuff. We've got another video we're going to dive into, team, and the next one is about Cadet Marcus Millhouse, and this speaks to the tradition of this idea. Tradition is an interesting idea here and concept. I mean, we were founded in 1842, and there are long-standing, I call it the rivers running under the earth, under the ground. There are things that fuel every single Citadel class each and every year. There are topical things on top of the crust that change to accommodate whatever's going on. But that river that flows underneath, these are the real reasons that cadets come and prosper here and go on to be great graduates. Marcus Millhouse has a great story, so we're going to watch this video now. Roll it, Josh.
There's a verse in the Citadel alma mater that goes, "And in the paths our Father showed us, follow without fear." And for me, every time I heard that, every time I saw it on paper, it just stuck out at me because it was like the author was telling me that your dad went here, your dad had the courage to do what he did. Now it's your turn. It's my turn to embody the same courage that he had when he was here and tackle everything head on. I'm Marcus Millhouse, so I decided to come to the Citadel to honor my dad's legacy. My dad passed away a week before my 7th birthday. I was really young, but we had a very close relationship. Wherever he was, I was with him. And every time he went into the car, I ran into the passenger seat just to be with him. He and I were like two peas in a pod. It was a certain feeling that knowing my dad was right beside me as I was coming into the battalion. And I felt so much motivation, and I was so proud to be here just to honor his legacy that I felt like I could tackle the world. So during Challenge Week, my NOB year, I was introduced to the gospel choir. I didn't know much about the Citadel, so when I heard the gospel choir, I thought that was something I knew from home that I could carry with me here to the Citadel. I knew I would need that inspiration, I need some of that strength that's in gospel music to help me go through my journey here at the Citadel. So I found that inspiration in the gospel choir. And not just in the music itself, but in the people. And the people in the gospel choir, along with the other ministers on campus, have been my rock here on campus. I keep pictures of my dad in my room and in my car, and I think about my dad every day. You don't have to have family here, you don't have to have your dad, you don't have to have your uncle, but when you come to the Citadel, you make good friendships. You establish, what your values are, and look to mentor other people who are coming behind you. That's where your Citadel starts. That becomes your Citadel story. And I thank God for making my Citadel story since I've been here.
Great story there. Pretty impactful stuff. Cadet Pansari, you're a top 6 cadet on campus. What are the traditions that you feel each and every day that you uphold well? Tough question.
That is. I think, day-to-day routines are just tradition. I think every morning we have formation, we, do parade practice. And then this year, because of COVID, it's obviously been difficult to do parades every Friday, but those are just kind of the day-to-day traditions. But I think I've gotten to relate to my dad a lot just in terms of leadership experiences that I've had that he experienced when he was here, and just, typical lessons that I've learned this year that he also learned during his time. So that's been pretty neat.
You have a unique legacy. There's a connection right off the bat because your father was a great leader, and certainly you're doing a great job as well. So that's a wonderful tradition there. And Cadet Rucci, you're a knob. There's opportunity, and you've expressed this in the willingness to change rooms. But there's always an idea of trying to help and better the people around you, academically, physically, and otherwise. How do you see that playing out in your class on a daily basis?
I definitely see everyone helping out. We have squad runs, which I don't think a lot of people have. A lot for, helping out. All the engineering people are pretty tight for helping each other out with homework. It's great.
You were a civil engineering major, which is an extraordinarily challenging environment. We talked about it, I think it was top 17, but it's an amazing outcome there. In fact, there was a while there, I know from admissions work, that there was a 5-year swing where every single engineering graduate had a job at graduation. That's 100%, folks. So that boils out to, again, what's happening here. You talked a little bit about the academic environment, is that you team up. I can tell you that, in fact, Matt Pansari was an English major with me, and there would be English study groups. And I had my strengths. I was a creative person, but the technical side, grammar was always a weaker point for me. God forbid my mother hear this. She'd be very upset. But I've gotten better, Mom. But the idea here is that we surround ourselves with people who excel in different ways, and we leverage each other's strengths to accomplish continuity and success. Whether it's a team environment, even though academics are very much individual, it permeates the environment. And I think this is something that our graduates carry into the military. The graduates carry this into the educational environments they go, whether you're serving for Greenpeace or you're going to BUD/S to become a SEAL. This same ethos holds true. And, Mallory's heading off to hopefully to medical school, and I feel very firmly about that. She's a top performer, so there's high opportunity there. But there'll be times where she'll be leaning on the people there. But again, when she arrives in that residency and people are leaning on her, this is where it really comes to life. It's a special thing. I'm sure she's had plenty of conversations with her father to this end. But this is a keen part of the deal here at the Citadel. Mallory, how do you see the traditions? You've been out a few years here, so it's one of those things that you're continually reflecting on your own experiences as a cadet, and you're reflecting on what you see happening on the Citadel's campus.
Right. Yeah. No. I think that the biggest tradition, that I see is just the bonds and connections with your classmates. I think the hardest transition for me when I graduated was not being in the battalion anymore, around my best friends anymore, on a day-to-day basis. And I will tell you this, I have talked to 4 of my classmates today. I talk to many of them on a daily basis. I will call them if I need anything. I was on the road one time recruiting and got a flat tire Who did I call? My classmate that was that stationed at Fort Stewart in Savannah, Georgia. So, and they were there to help me. So, I mean, I will say that the bond is it's a very lasting thing. I've been out 5 years now. We were supposed to have our 5-year reunion this year. It's a bummer we weren't able to have it due to COVID. But I will say that the tradition with the bond with your classmates is huge.
For all of our viewers out there, also understand that this bond permeates the alumni networks. We have 8 Citadel clubs in Georgia alone. That's a tremendous number. They span every region and area of Georgia. I had grandparents once living on St. Simon's Island. Brunswick has a Citadel club. There are clubs all over. And guess what? These are nodes of connection. These are nodes of professional development. And our cadets are very active in leveraging this and getting to know these folks, because the mentorship opportunities are really, really key parts of this. But again, that's serving the community. The ring that we wear, and I might have everyone hold the rings up during the Q&A later, but this ring is really, really special to us. It's not just a ring of being in a club. The club is an expectation. It's a contract with the college and with our classmates and with the long gray line that precedes us, that we're going to uphold these ideas on a continual basis. Wherever we go, this is part of us. So we're going to go on to our last video of the evening, which is about service in a different capacity for our candidates that are considering military service. We just got through Veterans Day. Each and every day is a day to reflect upon the people who've sacrificed and served our nation. And the Citadel is a keen part of that. Being the senior of the senior military colleges, we have taken a very historic and important role in providing this nation great warriors who were prepared to do what it takes to serve the United States. So there's a story that we have here of a young man who had the opportunity, had a tough challenge to get to the Citadel. He found his family here at the Citadel, and he made good on the journey and became a Marine officer. His name is Renee Valentine. Roll the video.
Life is going to be filled with obstacles, failures, and successes, and you've really got to take it one evolution, one conflict at a time. I'm Renee Valentine, and I'm commissioning into the Marine Corps as a second lieutenant. Some of the obstacles I faced in life really revolve around my relationship with my mom and our military service. We've had to move to a lot of places, unique experiences. It's been incredible. It's also been really hard at times, and she has sacrificed a lot to get me here. I really wanted the idea of my brothers, my family, maybe a father figure. I found my family and way more at the Citadel, way more I could have asked for. Obviously, Nabir was probably a shock. My very first time in Charleston was the day I showed up. There's this constant atmosphere of trying to be better than last year, be better than last week, be better than yesterday. This constant development where there are new expectations, new responsibilities, new heights to achieve, and you're gonna fail sometimes. I've definitely failed sometimes, but it's that constant battle to just be better tomorrow, be stronger tomorrow, be faster tomorrow. It's an obstacle, but it's also potential. There have been so many different kinds of transformation for me specifically. I walked in as this very skinny, not so confident dude from across the Pacific. I'm a senior now at the Citadel, and I feel confident in my capabilities. I know I have potential. I'm looking at the brink of military service. There's forward guidance. I know where I'm headed because of the Citadel. One of the quotes I live by is, "Today will be different." It goes back to yesterday, last week, last year, anything that's happened before. All you can do is build upon it and look forward to today and tomorrow.
There's a couple takeaways from this video just for our viewers so they understand. All the cadets here at the Citadel, regardless of your interest in going to the military or not, participate in ROTC for the first 3 years. And that is a great opportunity to be exposed. It's a great opportunity to kind of check in and see Oh, let's take a look.
Seamus, we still got you there. We'll get you back in just a moment. Without having a moment of technical difficulty here, but there is much that you see throughout the effort and the energy that's being put in by our cadets, by the challenges that they face, and by the challenges that they overcome. Each of our panelists, we will see that of them. And let's ask them. We'll start with Nabruchi. His challenge is most evident in the earlier years, however, very much not limited there. But Mr. Rucci, tell us some of the challenges that you faced and are facing.
Oh, let me think. Definitely coming here, not really physically ready. That was a big one. With all the gyms getting closed and stuff, I kind of got a little lethargic over the summer, and I felt that. Just academically, it's pretty challenging. I'm taking 17 credit hours right now, which is more than any of my other friends at other colleges. And that's pretty rough. Just kind of just going around campus too. You're like, oh no, don't want to miss a salute, something like that. Everyone will find out.
I often say that it's not, it's not one thing, it's not 5 things, it's not 10 things every day, but 1,000. For those listening, we use your class, the training of the 4th class, to teach leadership, which means that all eyes, all 2,300 cadets, all of their pairs of eyes are on you. Ms. Pansari, some challenges, both from your time in the Corps as a whole. What have been some of those challenges, and what are you facing currently?
I think the challenge has changed every year that I've been here. I think right now I'm facing the challenge of maintaining a training environment with all the COVID regulations, while also doing well in classes, while also looking at things to do for graduation. So kind of time management, thinking about what's going on at school and what's going on outside of school. And then Nabir, some of the same stuff, some of the same managing time and learning how to meet new people and be in a totally different environment and kind of manage all that stuff.
Excellent.
I'm going to do a mic check here. Am I working here? Let's just make sure I'm working here, Josh. Am I all right?
You're back. We're
Good.
glad to have you back. I'm especially glad to have you back. I'll let you take it away, Seamus.
Good. This is the thing. This is life. It's 2020, folks, and this is the stuff that happens. So we just pick up and move on. I wanted to touch base after Renee Valentine's video with Cadet Rucci. You have a primary interest of serving in the National Guard, and I believe you're pursuing a Minuteman Scholarship. Is that accurate to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and tell our viewers what a Minuteman Scholarship is so they understand.
So a Minuteman Scholarship is open to Army Reserve and National Guard, through the SMP program. So this summer I'm going to go to basic and AIT, and then through that scholarship I'll get a contract to get commissioned as an officer in the National Guard, and it'll pay all tuition or room and board. I'm going to choose tuition. And then I'll get a monthly stipend, and I'll get more drill pay. So it really helps out with getting money for the school, because as everyone knows, it's pretty expensive out of state, and I don't have any scholarships. So
good for you. I think this is a fundamental, and that's why I wanted to kind of touch base on this, not only to congratulate you on your willingness to serve in this capacity, but also for our viewers to understand that this is a part-time occupation. When you serve in the National Guard, the requirements on your time don't preclude you from having a civilian professional career. He's going to be pursuing a civilian engineering job while concurrently being in the Army National Guard, which requires 1 weekend a month and two weeks each and every year. But the benefits are amazing. And beyond that, there's the service component. And again, this ties back into this idea of the traditions here at the Citadel, the service that our folks feel. And so that's a really, really important part. I've touched base a little bit on with respect to Cadet Pansari. Being a doctor, that is a job of service. Good doctors serve their patients. And that's, again, another manifestation of that. Her father served in the Army in this capacity, but that's something to be very, very mindful of. ROTC scholarships, folks. There are a lot of jobs that exist in the military that don't require you carrying a weapon. You could be a lawyer, you can be in finance, you can be in project management, you can be in all kinds of different areas, intelligence, in different areas that translate very directly to linearly to civilian jobs. So We know that costs, especially in this day and age, are very, very challenging. Admissions is working to help find these opportunities. We have merit-based scholarships, and we'll talk more about that in the question and answer segment. But I wanted to share that in addition to the service component, ROTC scholarships provide a really, really important financial fuel source to get out-of-state cadets to the Citadel. So that's a really important marker for us right there. We've had some discussions that have been varied, talking about athletics and tradition and the academic environment here and what it means to be selfless and serve others. All those things are really, really important, but there's some fundamental things that link us as current cadets and graduates and link us to all of the folks who have gone on before us. And I think that there are also fundamental ideas that make people successful here at the Citadel. And there's one core element above all that takes the cake in ensuring success here at the Citadel. And this was summarized by General Walters when he talked about a variety of different things, but he summarized this central notion of it simply taking grit. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to start to get into our question and answer segment as we're winding down the program tonight. Want to remind everyone to stick around after the program concludes, after our Q&A concludes, because we're going to be putting up that QR code again for everyone to scan. And these are really cool pennants that we've designed exclusively for these webinars. Nice felt, cool. These designs have not been used before. Just wanted to share this with everyone. These are very cool, and this is perfect for your locker if you're actually in person in school. If not, hang it in your room with pride. But we'll be sending you that QR code at the end of the program tonight. So, Josh, kick us off into this question and answer, would you?
Sure thing. We've had several great questions, and I thank you to our audience for posting those. I've done my best to send some answers back to you, but I did want to save some for the live audience. And one of the questions here is about scholarships as a whole. Financing your college education is a major concern for families and individuals across the country, no matter where you go. The Citadel is going to be no different. As you've heard from many of our panelists, there's different combinations of scholarships that they're looking to earn or have earned or did earn in some of our cases. And that's really a personal thing. I recommend that you go to our website, go to citadel.edu. Right there in the middle is going to be admissions and aid. So thank you for those questions. Please check out the website that's specific to you, because it's really nuanced to your specific situation. But there are things out there and lots of things moving forward. I have a question here that came in about Charleston. What is special that the cadets do when they get off campus? What is it that they do? So what do you say, Ms. Pansari? What do you do with your free time? What does the not at the Citadel look like for you?
My friends and I will go out to eat. We'll go to the beach. We go for runs downtown. I mean, you really do get to enjoy all of the fun things that go on in Charleston on the weekends and even some days during the weeks when you have general leave. So you really do get to enjoy all the benefits of Charleston.
Mr. Rucci, I know that you've had less general leave. Your entire class has had less general leave than classes before you. And that's only going to get better and better as we hope, as the situation improves over the next year. But what has your general leave been like? What do you do? Do you go out with your classmates? Tell us about your time off campus.
I always go out. Oh yeah. Well, food in Charleston's great. I always came up here with my family to get food, so I always go out with my classmates. And another thing, whenever my parents come up, we usually get a hotel and sleep. That's good to catch up on here.
It is. Just for our viewers' knowledge, and this is one of the things I just want to convey is that when you look at Charleston, and you have to understand something really fundamental about the equation, which is being a cadet. The equation is the hard work. I call it the business week, which is Sunday evening through Friday afternoon. That's the academic work, the grind, which is preparing yourself to be successful. Ms. Pansari is preparing to become a medical doctor. That's not an easy road. You've got to do a lot of things academically right to position yourself on the MCATs and everything else. There's a lot of things to get those ducks in a row. We have Cadet Rucci, who's preparing to put his packet in to be successfully selected for a Minuteman Scholarship. He's being competitive. I'm sure you're working with Lieutenant Colonel Therese, one of our buddies.
Yes,
this is a team effort, but there's a lot of hard work that goes on each and every day. Mallory was a full-time athlete here, balancing all of the rigors of athletic responsibility, academic work, and she was a cadet leader. So you want to plug the Tesla, and let's call the cadet experience the Tesla, the supercharged Tesla, the S, or the special one, because we're high performing. You got to plug that into an energy source. And I have to equate it that way because you have to think of it this way, is that Charleston serves this purpose. We have great beaches. We have an amazing boathouse that's just been built. Cadets have access to boats. They have access to go out. You're going to do this stuff with your classmates. There's amazing food. There's great bands. There's great live entertainment. Obviously, we're in a COVID environment, but the standard ideas have been noted. And you guys don't know what this magazine is because you're young, but Condé Nast is a traveler's magazine. And they keep ranking Charleston as the best city in the United States over and over again. And we keep screaming, saying, shut up, stop telling everybody. Everyone's moving to Charleston. But the reality is that it is a special city. And it was a driver for me considering the Citadel. It was a piece because I knew that I had to connect with the place that I needed to recharge. So I say that to say to our considering candidates that visiting Charleston is a really important feature of this. You need to see this place. You got to understand it. You got to know our campus. You got to meet us. We do have on-campus visits. Preknob.com, PREKNOB.com has the gauntlet of all the visiting opportunities that are COVID oriented, but nevertheless allow you to get a cadet-led tour of campus, to Zoom with Josh and myself or your assigned counselor, move, yada, yada, yada. But the long and the short of it is, aside from your cadet visit, you need to see Charleston. You need to understand what you're getting into because this is where you plug in with your classmates and come charged up, ready to go. When Sunday evening hits and you're back on the books, you got to have a full tank or you're not going to make the Friday. So that's something that I would share with our viewers. Josh, sorry, go ahead.
That's great. We're actually getting a bunch of really good questions, not just about what happens off and what your free time looks like, but what happens here on campus. So Joseph Hester says, what does a typical day look like for a Citadel cadet? Mr. Rucci, would you run through that, please?
All right, so let me think. Well, usually get up around 5:20 for me. Not on PT days. I get dressed. I go. Everyone meets in the large, and we all check each other over.
The large is.
So it's the corner of the barracks. It's a bigger room with 4 people. That's actually where I used to live. And we all meet in there. We look over each other's uniforms, go over a little bit of knob knowledge if we need to, and then we go down, get online. Then we do our morning formation, salute colors, get dismissed, go to breakfast, and then go to our classes. And then everyone's varies for that. And then we have evening formation, for me at least, and then dinner. Right after that, ESP at 7:50. Sometimes before ESP, not like knob knowledge party or shine party, and then ESP to nighttime's usually relaxed.
So there's another question here that kind of goes along with the typical day, and I'll ask this of Ms. Pansari. This question is, how much free time does a cadet have as a basic?
It depends on the day. I think it just depends on how many credit hours you're taking. I think I tend to have a lot of meetings throughout the day and a lot of I go see my teachers every now. I go see my professors when I need extra help with classes. So that takes up a lot of my time. But I typically do have a fair amount of free time to go work out or go catch up with friends or just make sure that everything's in order.
It should also be noted that there is a meritocracy here at the Citadel, is that you're rewarded academically. And one of the things that, again, is a prime currency on this campus is that general leave. On occasion, Ms. Pansari probably has to pull that leave, much to the chagrin of the cadets in 2nd Battalion for performance issues or other issues. But the reality is that leave is well earned around here. And one of the things that is rewarded first and foremost on this campus is academic performance. So if you're a Gold Star student, that 3.8 student or better, for a semester, you get additional weekend and overnight leave privileges. If you get Dean's List, which is a 3.2, you achieve overnight and weekend privileges that exceed the norm. So there's a merit-based opportunity for you to extend the time away, recharging the batteries, as we've talked about. So again, it's a good thing because all that hard work pays off when Cadet Rucci's looking at that Minuteman scholarship and when Ms. Pansari is looking at opportunities to get into top medical schools. This is the stuff that pays off, in addition to getting the carrot of spending time in Charleston. So understand that the college is oriented around rewarding academic performance with leave opportunity. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Josh.
And in general, both of these questions, in terms of what your leave looks like, your time looks like, what life looks like, you have to understand two things. First, that this is a college. So you're going to find that there are clubs and activities, and that this is about you connecting with the things that you want and those outcomes that you want to have down the road. And the Citadel is going to have many, if not all, the same offerings as any college would have, from faith-based to social clubs to sporting clubs to activities of that nature. We have curfews. We're on campus. We wear uniforms. There's a whole slew of additional things. But this is the second thing I want to say, is that this is a choose your own adventure. If you're the kind of person who wants to focus and triple major and spend your time in your academics, then your time is going to look different than somebody who's going to play a sport, which is going to look different from somebody who's training and doing small squad tactics with their ROTC unit. Each of the individuals that you see on the screen in front of you right now has taken a completely different path, and so when it comes to free time in the afternoon, you're going to see, most of the core is doing something physical. But there will be those who say, I'm going to crawl into my rack today. That's what my afternoon has for me. It's for you. You've got to choose your own adventure. You have to decide how you're going to utilize your time because it's limited. And then you get to that weekend and you enjoy Charleston, you enjoy your classmates, you take your weekend pass and you go home to Savannah or wherever the case may be. You're going to have the time to do things, and you're not going to have enough time to do everything you want to do, which is a perfect example of what the rest of your life is going to look like, and you can expect as an adult.
Hey, Josh, let's take a quick opportunity. Yes, when you have 3 kids and a lot of responsibilities, that this is what it's all about, folks, is that life is about making good decisions and managing your time to honor the people that you care a lot about. So here's a great question. I saw someone was asking a question. We have 2 different cadets at either end of the spectrum. Cadet Pansari has worked her tail off to get and become it's not an easy task to become a battalion commander. I was a cadet 2nd lieutenant. That's a very low rung officer. I love what I did. I had a platoon that I was responsible for, but I was in charge of 30 people, where she's responsible for more than 500. That's a big, huge responsibility. But there are perks with it. Again, there's a meritocracy here. So let's take a look at cadet room. We're going to start with Cadet Rucci. Give us a quick bird's eye tour of what your room constitutes, the pieces, the big pieces. If you can move that laptop and show our audience.
All right, here's my desk. Here's where all the magic happens, Got my full press, all my mini shoes, and half press, little dresser. My perfectly made bed, of course.
Outstanding rack. Nice job. Look at that. Perfect.
And then just sink, dehumidifier, unnecessary for Charleston. Also, while I'm up, I'm going to grab my charger. My computer's about to die.
Yeah, stay with us. Make sure you stay with us.
I'll try it. All right. And then that's about it. There's not much going on here. It's pretty functional.
What the cool thing about that is that has not changed in a long period of time. That's another tradition there, Mr. Rucci. My room looked just like your room did, and that's outstanding. You don't need anything else to be successful here at there. But you can be rewarded if you become a battalion commander. So Ms. Pansari, show us your room. Let's take a look.
All right, let's see if I can do this. So I have 2 desks. I was sitting at this one just now. You can kind of see this one behind me. And then here's my bed. And then, yeah, I've got a bathroom over here. And then I've got a closet on the other side. And we used to have a TV, but we got rid of it because it was distracting. So it's a little bit bigger than this.
Cadet Rucci, you should be setting your sights on that right now. If you want to secure that room, it starts right now. You got
Absolutely.
that?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. Do we have any other questions that we want to cap it off with, Josh? How are we doing?
There are a few more, and folks, we really appreciate you being you communicating with us. Please continue to send us questions. When we put up the QR code here in just a moment, you can continue to ask questions. You can continue this dialogue with us, and we'll happily respond via email and any number. That link, and you'll see this again in a moment, but www.prenob.com, PREKNOB.com. That's going to give you virtual, in-person, telecounseling, all kinds of options to carry on this dialogue. We're pushing all our cadets and our volunteers. We're pushing ourselves into the wee hours now after a long day. So and as well as you. So we're going to go ahead and cap it off. But please continue this dialogue. We're happy to answer your questions for sure.
If I could culminate with a quick thank you to our folks there, Ms. Pansari, I'd like you to say hello to my classmate Matt for me. And that's not Dr. Matt Pansari. That's Matt. I'd like you to say hello for me. And again, I want to thank all of our panelists. Mallory is an embodiment, and I wish we had a little more time to talk about this, but one of the things I again want to express is Mallory volunteers as a Georgia Citadel Alumni Recruitment Chair. She governs the entire state of alumni that give their time to meet with Georgian students who are considering the Citadel. These are important networking opportunities. We care about our graduates, we care about our cadets, and we also care about the people who are thinking about the Citadel. So there is an important idea here that's at place, which is there's a Citadel community that is very passionate. So Mallory, I appreciate what you do on behalf of that organization. I know you've got a heck of a lot on your plate with what you do as a regional recruiter, but I appreciate everyone's time tonight. This has been another outing to try to share what it is to be a Citadel cadet, a graduate, and a leader. So thank you everyone for participating. Thanks to our viewer audience with us tonight. And again, we're going to be putting that queue up momentarily, but we're going to kick this off, or we're going to close this out rather, with a video that's going to be really inspirational to Cadet Rucci, but it'll be fun for the rest of us to engage here. You're only a few short months away from this moment, so stick around. Roll the video.